Next guest learned the importance of giving back at an early age. She was just 12 years old when she started donating her time and money to charitable causes. Now she's 22, a recent college graduate, and still giving strong. She's written a book called A Kid's Guide to Giving. Please welcome Freddi Zeiler. So good to have you here this morning.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Now, I know you were 12, but at what age do you recommend kids start learning of the importance of giving back?
I personally feel that it's never too young to start learning to give, and it's really up to your parents when you're young, when you're at a young age, to start encouraging your kids becoming aware of global issues or local issues, and start encouraging them to help.
So the parents really are the role models, or they should be, right?
They were for me.
Yeah.
I mean, or teachers, but I think it's definitely a parent's job to help, get your kids started.
Well, we said you were 12, so what did you do? How did it start?
When I was 12, I moved from the city in LA to a small community just outside of it, and I began to help locally. And my mom would take us around. We'd do walks around our neighborhood, picking up trash, or we'd help out a local nonprofit. Or we do pet adoption days at the farmer's market where, you'd help out and volunteer for the day. And I think giving locally is a great way to start. You really kind of see direct results and how you can impact your community. And pretty soon I started wanting to give globally. So I started doing my own research at that.
And that you took that upon yourself? You started that?
I did. My family encouraged me, and I was getting allowance every week, and I really wanted to do something good with it. I really wanted to kind of get out there and start giving to a charity. And I began by doing my own research. I had a computer, and I just started looking up these charities online, and I made a list of about 10 questions that I wanted answered on each charity. What's your mission? Where exactly does my money go? What are your different programs?
You were good, smart. Smart kid.
It took a lot of trial and error. I just coming up with the right questions to ask. And once I got them, I mean, it wasn't easy. It really didn't start out as a book. It started as a personal mission to find the perfect charity for me.
So, did you find that perfect charity?
I did. I think there's a charity out there for everyone, and it's different for every single person. And for me, it was Save the Children. And I ended up sponsoring a child through them in Haiti, and I did that for a few years, and it was great because this little girl was about 6 years old, and I give money to her every month, and I get letters in return, and updates and photographs and drawings, and it was amazing to see how I was impacting another child's life, and that was really important to me because I was so young.
What did that do for you?
It's incredible.
How did it impact you?
It makes giving just something that you really enjoy doing, and it's not an obligation at all. And I really like that feeling, knowing that you're helping someone, that wasn't so lucky to be born in California, or growing up in a place like you did, and who didn't have, a great local community, and helping a kid, who's just like you, but growing up in a different place. It's an amazing feeling.
So then how did the idea for the book happen?
I ended up with this incredible amount of information, like I said, and I already basically had it in the format. I mean, I had 10 questions, a page on each charity. I just broke it down into people, animals, and environment for the book, just to kind of make it easier. And I had over 100 charities. I think there's 101 in the book. And so I just put it all together and put it in kids' terms, how I would want to read it.
And that all happened when? Because you started the writing?
I started kind of giving back when I was about 12. I finished the book about 14. So, and then it took about 7 years to get it published. Yeah.
Hey, that happens, right?
Yeah.
But it's out.
It's
here.
out, yeah, thanks to a couple of wonderful organizations, By Kids, For Kids, and Innovative Kids. I was able to do that.
Now, the book was, you did research on what you called kid-friendly organizations. I was just curious, what's a kid-friendly? How would you describe that?
That's kind of my own, just kind of from my own experience, basically. The charities that I would email or call up that were really helpful to me, and just, more than willing to just explain how they work to me. And for me, that's kid-friendly to me.
Okay.
That had great websites and were very accessible. Some charities I'd email and they just weren't interested in getting donations, from such small donations from a kid. They didn't want my allowance, or they They were concerned about the big
Really?
donors. They didn't.
Oh, wow.
They didn't want to take the time to answer my questions, or I just wouldn't get a response
That's
at all.
not nice.
No. So I was like, well, you're not going in my book.
So they didn't make the book, those guys.
No. So the ones that are in it are the ones that were really helpful and really responsive.
So what did your peers, how did they respond to the book?
They, I'm kind of the go-to girl now for charities. It's really funny. In high school, a lot of the clubs would come up to me and say, well, we're doing a benefit, we're doing a fundraiser. What organization should we give our money to? You know, and I'd say, well, here's the book, you know. Decide first of all whether you want people, animals, or environment, and then you can kind of narrow down your choices from there. And the community service club I'd work with them a lot. But actually, nowadays I get a lot more parents coming up to me and saying, thank you so much. We didn't know how to get our kids involved in giving either, you know, time or money. We didn't know how to make our kids aware, because they don't know how to do it themselves sometimes, and just being able to have this great resource to hand them a book and say, you know, here, maybe we should start giving some of your allowance to a charity. It's a great way, you know, it's an easy way to get your kids started.
Okay, what's your advice for someone watching out there, or a kid who wants to get started?
The best piece of advice I think I can give is to get passionate about a cause, to find the perfect cause for you. And I mean, like I said earlier, it makes it so it's not an obligation,
Right,
that it's something
right.
that really means something to you and that you just want to go out and do. Whether it's volunteering, you know, time, you know, one
Because you don't want to feel like you
weekend
have to do this,
Yeah.
because then that just takes out,
It can
takes
be-
away all the...
Exactly. It takes the
You know,
fun out of
yeah.
it. You know, and I found charities that I really enjoyed working for or giving my money to. And, you know, you feel like you're actually making a difference. It's really empowering, you know. It shouldn't be a chore. It shouldn't be something you force your kids to do if you're a parent. You should say, you know, let's find something that really means something to you, something you really care about, whether it's a particular disease or if it's a type of animal, you know, endangered species that you really love, you know. Getting involved.
Yeah. So
through
that's
that,
important. That is
yeah,
important.
It's the best step you can make. It takes away the work, you know, and the rest just kind of falls into place from there.
Well, thank you so much, Freddi, for coming in.
Thank
I
you for
love the
having
book.
me.
I mean, it's kid-friendly, user-friendly, parent-friendly. It's just friendly.
It's great. And I actually
it's a great
have
book.
I have a website, kidsguidetogiving.com, and it's all on there.
Great, great. Well, anyone watching today who wants to find out more, they can go to our website to find out.
Great.
Thank you so much, Freddi, for coming
Thank
in.
you.
Next, a doctor who